You've been scrolling around YouTube recently. You must have noticed a lot of I quit Genshin video. And the reason why this is happening, of course, because we just had let's just say, a straw that broke the camel's back, especially for the most recent Genshin players. I feel like what's happening is day one players have, for the most part, already left, or at least the vocal ones you see online, to be more specific. And now, since there was a new wave of players, because Genshin has been out for a long time now, and I think the people that came in probably around Fontaine, Natlan, etc., are probably getting burnt out and tired of the, let's just say, predatory practices of the developers more so than the actual game itself, because I feel like Genshin does have a charm. It does have a place in the market. I've said so before, and I'll keep saying it. It may not be as well polished, as mechanically demanding as other games, something that a lot of gamers typically like to compliment. But I feel like it does have a place in the market when you consider neo gamers, new gamers that are new to video games, maybe, or just want to play on their mobile devices. They don't have the capabilities to be able to afford a device that can allow them to play the most recent games. Genshin optimization wise is okay-ish, at least for the most part. Storage is obviously going to be a bitch because the game has been out for a long time and they don't polish spacing too much, but I think they have a different version for mobile from what I heard though. But this is basically why Genshin still has a place in the market. But for the average gamer who has the option to choose what they can play or not, or are not necessarily blinded by not understanding that there is more than just mobile games, because, well, all spade is spade, is kids that see games through mobile devices only. So a lot of them don't even have consoles or anything, and even the ones that have consoles, they want a free game and they'll play Genshin Impact because, well, it's free, right? And also parents could just throw that at the kids to shut them up, as always welcome, right? If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to not miss any updates.
I guess I better go subscribe to VxV Gacha.
The conversation of quitting Genshin Impact is really taken off, and recently I have seen the Glaive Kyo video basically making a response video to this one. But since we're reactors, we're gonna just directly go point by point. This thing blew the fuck up. And here's the thing, I just couldn't find them again, but I have seen a lot of similar videos that blew the fuck up, just like this one, from smaller creators, reaching around the same numbers, believe it or not. But a lot of them were girls for some reason. I don't know why. This is the only guy I've seen, but the other ones are girls. For example, this one, Genshin needs to get a grip. There's a lot of similar videos like this out there. You can see this really blew the fuck up, and then this one is blowing up just the same. I feel like this is a very important part to hear what new players, ones that weren't around since day one, have to say about Genshin Impact. I'm very curious to see a different perspective than my own, for me to also be able to understand the new types of player we have in the space right now. Because if we're gonna cover this, we're gonna have to be understanding of everybody as we try to discuss these topics with a respectful mannerism, of course, and hopefully reach out to developers so that they can, by some miracle, fix things. So without further ado, we have the great GPAG. I don't know what they call them. Anyway, let's get to it. The great. We'll call him the great.
I'm quitting Genshin Impact, and you should too. I'm not saying that
right off the bat. He just came in swinging. he just said his title. He's like, yep, I'm quitting, and you should too. This reminds me, of course, I mean, obviously, for the OGs, this one's for the OGs, just like that very line too. This reminds me of, I'm boycotting Genshin Impact, and you should too. The Genshin boycott guy. You guys remember that stuff? Oh man, those were the days. This really reminds me of that, and that one really took off too. And maybe this one is obviously taken off too. And as we can see here, it's not only him; it's a bunch of people. So this sentiment, I feel like, is stronger than ever because it's generating numbers more than the boycott stuff.
because I hate the game, but because the game hates me and you.
Yeah, by the game he means the. Here's the thing: I don't think they hate you. They just know they can. It's all business, baby. It's all business. Ain't no hard feelings. It's all business. Doesn't make it okay. I'm just explaining. Sucks to be on the receiving end, that's for sure.
I have never seen a game that doesn't want to improve or be fun more than this game does.
Oh boy. Well, it tries to be at a very lazy fashion. Yeah. or else it gets in. If they do what you want, it gets in the way of their strategy, and that's no bueno.
For your reference, I have multiple games under my belt to compare Genshin to, and my experience in Genshin is that I have played every Archon quest, most of the story quests, all the hangouts, gotten to floor 12 in the Spiral Abyss, reached the highest reputation level in most of the regions,
Yeah.
and have spent plenty of hours exploring the open world. In other words, I think I have enough experience in Genshin to criticize it, and have enough experience in other games to explain why the flaws in Genshin are so bad.
I remember this boss, man. He's fighting. It's super annoying. You need Zhongli. Zhongli would ruin it. Oh man, Zhongli makes it so easy.
So I'm gonna do that. Before I talk about the actual gameplay, I want to talk about the community's biggest criticism about the
I'll be honest, I miss Genshin. I mean, looking at the blob slimes and everything, I remember, man, the nostalgia.
game. The fact that you can't skip cutscenes.
Right off the bat, like, dude, why? Like, there's some certain mysteries in the world. One of them is Genshin's skip button. SSR has it. ZZZ has it. They're all Hoyo games. Why the fuck doesn't Genshin have that? I don't understand. It baffles my mind.
Genshin's cutscene presentation is shockingly bad. It was outdated the year it was released, and has not improved at all in the 6 years since. It's actually on par with Sonic Adventure from 1998. And I do mean that. The in-game cutscenes have the character models do the same stock animations, the mouth animations are not synced to match with the English dialogue, or any language that isn't Chinese.
I feel like that has been normalized to the point where people can just tolerate it. We understand that Asia gets all the cool stuff. Yeah, if you've been playing video games as long as I have, you already know this. This is the default, unfortunately. Bad for us. Yeah, we don't have that Asian buff.
They are unskippable, and every once in a while you will get a pre-rendered cutscene that is way better animated than anything else in the game.
Dude, when they hit you with those cutscenes, I'm like, okay, finally we got that cool badass moment. All right, well now I guess we're back to bullshit. And why couldn't that be the standard? Well, tough.
The thing with Sonic Adventure from 1998 is that it's from 1998, and the bad cutscenes are more of a sign of its age. Genshin came out in 2020, and should be judged like the modern game that it is. And for a modern game, these cutscenes suck, and the fact that I can make this comparison at all is proof of this. Even more baffling is that, like I mentioned earlier, you can't skip these. You have to look at these boring, poorly animated cutscenes for like 10,000 years because the cutscene to gameplay ratio in Genshin's main story quests is like 99% cutscene and 1% gameplay.
I'm really interested in what so for example, a game developer, someone with real, true expertise under their belt, would say about, are they doing this on purpose for the sake of optimization for mobile? I'm genuinely curious. I don't know if we have the data for that yet, but if anybody knows, let us know in the comments below, because that's the only explanation to me that makes sense as to why this is still a thing. I mean, they did those flashy faces. They made them a little more anime, which is good. It stays true to what they're trying to push, which is the anime genre in an open world game, which is nice and all. But the fact is, it obviously doesn't have improvement like what we've seen with Wuthering Waves when people were complaining about the cutscenes, the music direction, the voice acting, all that cool stuff. Did they really got their shit together? And we've started to see that in, I think, starting 1.3, 1.4, but it really hit the ground running in 2.0 when they just started fresh with a good proper direction, and they had us all hooked ever since. So, and also when you look at the camera work as well, it really makes you feel like the devs looked and cared about every single frame. They didn't slop it up. So when you look at a Genshin cutscene, it's more of a slop thing more than it is a well polished. It's kind of like a YouTube video. There's slop videos, and there's of course well edited, well crafted, frame by frame care, very well polished edits, right? It's basically that. And unfortunately, while some of us can enjoy slop, the problem is if slop is in every single cutscene, well, a lot of people are gonna get tired of that, unfortunately. Especially when you go into a video game, you expect flashiness, you expect, especially anime, you really expect a certain degree of flashiness and stuff. So I mean, shit. We're gonna talk about those reaction shots they do in anime. Like the girl turns around and then there's this and she goes, there's like a pink light popping out of nowhere, and she looks so pretty, and her eyes glitter by like, I don't know where that light's coming from. It's night. How are your eyes so shiny? And so yeah, so that's what people typically expect from the anime genre, and that's what Genshin is trying to be. So when you look at that slop, there's a conflict of interest over there, man.
The vast majority of games since 2010 have skippable cutscenes, so this is a reasonable complaint.
Yeah, I remember Glaive Keo mentioning this from his video. Yeah, typically games by design, I remember some didn't have it. I remember some didn't have skippable cutscenes. I remember that, but that was when I was very young. Games were technically still new, but for the most part, you can skip cutscenes. You always could skip cutscenes in video games.
Also, bit of a reminder that even heavily story-focused games like Metal Gear Solid 1 through 5
Okay, now you're knocking at my door. Now you're knocking at my door. We're talking about MGS. All right. Kept you waiting, huh? All right, let's talk.
allow you to skip cutscenes, so what the hell is Genshin's excuse? Even worse is that the
Because it's made by Kojima. I mean, are we the goat himself? Are we, seriously? Seriously? It's our boy. It's the homie Kojima, man. Thank God for the homie Kojima.
game is live service, and the quality has not increased whatsoever. To this day, Genshin's cutscenes are so bad that they are beaten in terms of quality by games from
I just had this crazy thought. What if the skip button isn't necessarily introduced in Genshin Impact because you get primo gems off story quests and stuff like that? So it's still just a way to maintain the artificial inflation of primo gems and making them even harder to get even through the story. All this for that. Like they're willing to sacrifice the story immersion and the way you navigate the story in the game for the sake of maintaining an even greater artificial inflation of a currency that's not worth anything to society. What if that's the reason? I might be onto something on this one.
2001, which are a quarter of a century old now. Games like Halo 1, Metal Gear Solid 2.
He's so based. Man, this moment, this scene, I remember I was at my grandma's house. I remember this perfectly. It was night. I waited for everybody to be asleep because my cousins were there, and they'd be annoying to me. And I wanted to try Metal Gear Solid 2. It was finally time because I'll be honest, I didn't have a PS2. All right, and they had the PS2, and obviously when they're there, they're more in control of the console than I am. So I can't do what I want to do. I can't have the immersion I want because they're gonna keep commenting, and I just want everybody to fuck off so I can experience this by myself. I waited for everybody to be asleep. Got up, snuck into the room for the PlayStation, fired off Metal Gear Solid 2. You know, when I saw this moment, man, I saw Snake, man, those were the days.
Sonic Adventure 2, and Mega Man X6, despite not having the best
I loved Mega Man Zero. I never wasn't much into the Mega Man X's ones for some reason. I played some, but I really remember Mega Man Zero.
cutscene direction, are still vastly more appealing to look at than Genshin's cutscenes have. And
Mega Man
ever
Battle
will be
Network
to
was
look
cool
at.
too.
You can also skip the cutscenes in all these games, by the way. Even other gacha games have skip buttons, so
Yeah,
there really is
from the Hoyo IP as well. So yeah, again like it's one of the two for the artificial inflation of the primo gem currency or just pure. No, we don't want. We're trying to maybe hopefully get you immersed into our story so that way we can hook you some more. They have all the reasons to. Because here's the thing: the story on a gacha game is an ad. They're advertising you the characters. There's a reason why banners match the characters present in the story. The reason why that's happening is by design because the more you see the characters, the more you relate to the characters, the more likely you would want to spend on getting the characters because emotional purchases are the best thing you can do. When people feel like they are relating emotionally to a product, that's a very strong incentive for people to want to buy something. I know it and you know it. I've made emotional purchases. You've made emotional purchases. We've all made them. It's just strong commercial tactics. I think that's like number one because we're emotional creatures. We don't like to admit it as much, but we are. Men or women, I don't give a shit. We're all emotional creatures. And due to that, the more emotionally you are relating or attached to something, the more likely you are to spend on it. And let's just say, well, commerce has picked up on that, and they're utilizing this tactic to their advantage to maximize sales and profit. That's why the characters and the stories are the way they are, is for them to sell you stuff like that. So it's pretty smart, but I feel like it's kind of throwing the baby with bathwater. But because, well, I don't want to play the ad anymore. You know, can I skip the ad? Even YouTube allows you to skip the ad. I mean, Christ.
is just no excuse. Like what? Can the billion-dollar company not hire more animators to help spruce up the cutscenes? Or get one of the
No, it's
devs
by
to add a
design, man,
skip button?
obviously.
Like, there are so many ways I can criticize the bad cutscenes. We could actually be here all day, so I should just move on. One more thing before I get to the gameplay. Genshin's size. You know Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
You know how it has a big open world with tons of stuff to do in it?
Yeah.
And is only like 14.4 gigabytes? Well,
That's it?
as of making this video, Genshin is 174.8 gigabytes on
God damn. What the hell, boy? 175 gigabytes is crazy. It's gonna get higher, of course. I mean, obviously they don't. Hold on. I'm pretty sure for mobile it's lesser. Yes, the file of Genshin Impact on mobile device significantly smaller than PC and consoles, primarily due to higher resolution texture, uncompressed audio, and audio languages required on larger systems. So for mobile and iOS, 25 to 35 gigs depending on installed language packages and devices, and PC from 85 to 150. On PlayStation, oh, he's already playing on eBuff because he's playing on the PS5, as we can see here. Oh yeah, he's having it rough. So for us PC players, we could reach there too. Okay, so in my computer, my Genshin Impact file size is 214 gigabytes. For console PlayStation, it says 150 plus gigabytes. So technically, he's having it good. Because I thought like maybe PC might be lower considering what AI is telling us here. Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Or maybe I fucked up somewhere in my installation stuff. So that's why it's this high. It's this high. So let me know. Maybe I'm gonna uninstall probably. But anyway, 214 for me, man. And he has 175, which is actually more than what Google is saying. So I might take this number for mobile with a grain of salt. I don't think it's let's look at Grok, for example. Okay, so on mobile, Android, iOS, Genshin Impact takes around 20 to 35 gigs for a full install, depending on options and device. So Android is 34 full resources. Basic resources is 22 gigs. iOS is 32 to 52. Full install reported by users' app stores list higher requirements like 40 to 60 free space recommended. The initial app download from Google Play or the App Store is a small, of course, because you still have to install it like that. So as we can see here, it is pretty low if you're playing on mobile for sure. But then you consider, mobile devices typically don't have that much space anyway, so it's pretty harder to deal with. So you interact with that as you see fit, but typically it's taking around 20% to 25% of your overall storage, unless you have a terabyte. Unless your phone has a terabyte, it's taking a lot of space, man. It is taking a lot of space. All right.
Now, to be fair, Teyvat is a bigger map than Hyrule is, but even if Genshin's map was like 5 times the size of Breath of the Wild's, it should only be like 72 gigabytes, a full 102.8 less than what it is now.
Yeah.
So keep in mind that not only is this game going to drain your life, as I'll get into in a second, but it also wastes your precious space on your hard drive. Okay, let's actually talk about the gameplay now. This section really hurts to write because I can see there is a good game buried deep down in here somewhere.
That's how they got us. That's how they got us, man. See, for the average gamer, the neo gamers, they don't necessarily give a shit. They don't care. They like what they play. They don't care. They just want to play anything that's popular. It's popular with everybody, or they like it. This is the best game they can play in their device, considering the limitation of their device. They don't necessarily give a shit, or they haven't explored the horizon. They haven't experienced anything better. So to them, this is peak. For us, that have already grew up with video games and experienced peakness before, that's tough. That's tough to ignore. You can see there's more to the game. There's something great. Maybe, just maybe, considering the live service model of this game, if I were to speak about it, if I were to leave my precious feedback to the developer that I would assume was gonna care about me, right? Because I'm the precious player, I'm the precious consumer, right? Things will change for the better, right? It'll be the game I think it can be. I mean, look at it. And why would the devs not want to make their game better, right? Yeah.
The actual gameplay of Genshin is like this. You build a team with a maximum of 4 characters. Each character has an element, those being Anemo, Geo, Electro, Dendro, Hydro, Pyro, and Cryo, and a weapon
That's the best part about the game, by the way.
type, those being Sword,
In terms of combat and gameplay.
more Spear, Catalyst, and Bow.
Good. No, I might actually down that hill. I think the element system is the best thing Genshin introduced.
Each character has the same basic controls, i.e. they have a normal, charged, and plunge attack, can sprint.
It's sad that the sprinting is still the same animation. Like, they haven't even added flashy effects or anything. That's just sad. Since Hu Tao, I think Hu Tao is the only one, to my knowledge, that has like a certain animation when she dashes. They didn't expand on that. It's so sad.
Burst, climb walls like in Breath of the Wild, and glide like in Breath of the Wild. Where each character differs is that their normal and charged attack depend on their weapon, and their character-specific elemental skill and burst will obviously inflict that character's element. So a Pyro character will set things on fire, or an Electro character will electrocute things, and mixing different elements gives you different reactions that do more
That's
damage
the beauty
to
of
enemies.
Genshin, is the elemental reaction part. The element and the way they mix. Oh, amazing. Loved it.
The description I just gave you of the gameplay, you might be wondering what the problems are. I mean, on paper it sounds pretty fun. Well, It's how you get characters and upgrade them where Genshin falls apart. Genshin is a gacha game, so that means using in-game currency, i.e. Primo Gems, Antiquated Fate, and Intertwined Fate, to pull on a character's banner for a chance to get them. There are 2 limited time banners with a limited time 5-star character.
Well, back in my day, we only used to have one limited character per page, man.
By default, you have a pretty high chance of just not getting the character. It takes 90 pulls for the game to guarantee that you get a 5-star character on that banner. Now, to be fair, after like 70 pulls, your chances of getting the character do go up. Unfortunately, the 5-star character you pulled might not be the 5-star character you want.
There it is. Look, the gacha system is fine. One might even say, well, we're all gambling addicts, so, we kind of need that, if anything. We need that. What was that guy said? It doesn't give you the dopamine. The 50-50 system is good because it gives you that dopamine when you actually win. Oh, shit. But besides gambling addicts, the 50-50 system is just the worst. This is the worst. I mean, it's fine. Earlies are amazing. I love earlies. The system is okay. Making me work to get a new character is okay-ish as long as the free-to-play currency allows me to at least guarantee 1 character per patch. I think everybody would be content. You have choices to make. If you want more, you purchase. It's kind of the nature of games as a whole, really, nowadays. Look at microtransactions. It's the sad reality of gaming in 2026. And due to the normalization of that, I think players are more tolerant towards that in gacha, especially because also they understand gacha are even more predatory than microtransaction having games. So, well, depends on who you ask, actually, because I heard some games that aren't necessarily marketed as a gacha game that are more predatory than a lot of gachas you see. Just food for thought, by the way. If anybody's gonna keep try to glorify non-gacha games, no, microtransactions are pretty much everywhere nowadays, unless for the very few exceptions, those you want to just want to get and start playing right now. I highly recommend The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
There is a 50-50 chance the game gives you a different character than the one you wanted. And your chances for pulling
a trash character, by the way. See, the problem with the standard banner is if they only buff the units to keep up with power creep, this wouldn't be that big of a problem. A 50-50 loss is just chance telling you pay more. That's it. It's a huge spit on the face. Is what that is. It's super tilting. It's a coin toss too, because you had as much chance to win than to lose. It's like you just look at the sky, look at God, and you go, "Why me, God? What did I do?"
What they were originally. Because of this, it takes 180 pulls for you to get a 100% chance to receive the character you are pulling for. That's just for 5 stars. There's absolutely no guarantee for the 4 stars on the banner. So if you want one of them, you just have to hope you get one while you're pulling. Yeah. But wait, that's not all. Each 5-star character has a 5-star weapon that they don't come with.
For the most part, in Genshin Impact, I don't know if things changed, but for me personally, in my own experience in Genshin Impact, characters really had decent 4-star options. They did. And there was also this black cliff, I think. Anyways, these black and red weapons that you can purchase through the currency you get off getting characters in the banners, the glitter, whatever the hell that is. Corals, for example, in Withering Waves, etc. You know what I'm talking about. When you pull characters, they give you this side currency that you only get after getting dupes. The more dupes you have, the more you get. And there's this series that gives you crit damage. Okay, it's just a series, all of them, they give you crit damage, and it has a decent buff for battle. It's not optimal, of course, but all in all, it's pretty decent. And also something to keep in mind, at least back in my day, power creep Genshin was just a joke in terms of difficulty. Like you can just get a character, slap just a 4-star Favonius on him, and you can just murder anything. And even 3-starring the Spiral Abyss. It is really that simple of a game. And I hear it changed a bit in terms of power creep. It's more demanding now, obviously. They have to. But for the longest time, this has been a non-issue, at least in my experience. It's true that, I mean, if Kazuha, for crying out loud, the best character in the game, or at least for the longest time, maybe it's Farina now, he just needed a craftable weapon. Go show me another gacha that did that. I mean, Genshin is fucking base for that. Even to this day, one of the best units in the game is Bennett, a 4-star. A fucking 4-star. Show me another gacha that's doing that. You're not. You can't, especially in the big 4. You don't see that. Unless it's ZZZ, because I don't know much about ZZZ. But at least SSR, NTE, or what's it called? WUA. That's just not going to happen. You're not going to. WUA has a huge weapon problem, by the way. Like, SIGs are very, very important. Like, Lucilla just came out. Even the standard weapons is kind of blow on her. Like, I had to get the SIG. So, really, when you look at Genshin's, at least at the start, around probably its first 3 to 4 years, I think in terms of how predatory the weapon banner was, not in its systems, but how demanding it is for you to want the SIG, it wasn't really there. At least if you're more strategic rather than emotional. Because obviously, when you buy something you want, it's like if you're going to buy a car, well, you want all the options that come with the car. You want the Bluetooth, you want everything to come with it, right? That makes sense. But if you don't necessarily care, you just want something that it looks good. I like the car. I don't necessarily care about that extra shit because it's still doing what I want the car to do. If you're that type of person, Genshin is just it was fantastic for the longest time. That may have changed now. I'm not really sure. You gotta let me know in the comments below.
You have to pull on a separate weapon banner that works pretty similar to the regular limited banner, only this time you are guaranteed to get the weapon at 160 pulls. That means, worst case scenario, you have to pull 340 times to get both the character and weapon you want. Now, this wouldn't be that big of a problem if there were an abundance of in-game currency. There isn't. While you can get primo gems, antiquated...
Well, they have to because they want you to value it. Scarcity creates some degree of value you give to something, and because of that, you're more inclined to spend. So,
an intertwined fate through normal gameplay, you really won't get that much. You get one antiquated fate for every other ascension level one of your characters hits, get one intertwined fate per Archon quest completed, or can buy either for 160 primo gems, which you get for almost anything. Yeah, that's right, you only get one intertwined fate for looking at this for hours of your life per quest. Now,
yeah,
let's talk about primo gems.
Oh, per patch, by the way. They're not always available. The story isn't over yet.
You get primo gems for pretty much anything, from opening chests to doing quests and completing achievements. For achievements, you get like 5...
That sounds good, right? You get them from everywhere, so that no problem.
Or 10 primos. For doing quests, you don't get that much, and the amount you get varies. The most primo gems you can get for doing quests is like 50 or 60, and you get no primo gems.
Not 6, 7?
At the very least. And remember, folks, for the side quests, the presentation is just as bad, if not worse, than the main story quests, because there is no voice acting. Also,
that's where the skip button is a must. You know it. We all know it. It's a fuck.
Special mention to the R&R quest for being 11 hours of this. That quest is single-handedly responsible for my hatred for unskippable cutscenes.
I don't care. I'm just trying to get through the quest so that I can just finish this.
For chests, the amount also varies, but for the most common type of chests, you only get 0 to 2 primo gems per chest. Bit of a reminder that just to get a 100% guarantee for a 5-star character, you need 100...
Oh man, D-Luke with the wolf gravestone walking around. Oh man, that takes me... It's my shit. That was my shit, bro.
180 pulls, and one pull costs 160 primo gems. So multiply 160 by 180.
Well, back in my day, the fastest way to get from point A to point B is to use a tall character like D-Luke because, they're faster. Now you got your Skirks with their scales and turning into a whale swimming in air. Man, you kids don't know how good you have it.
And you will need 28,800 primo gems. Great googly moogly. So, you better get out there and find as many chests as possible, pal. Also, chests don't
Based Walking Dead clip.
Respawn, and the first two areas combined, Mondstadt and Liyue, have more chests than the Arkham games have Riddler trophies. And we're at like 7 regions now, so that number is way higher.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Genshin devs didn't have the foresight the Arkham devs did. I.e., in every Arkham game, each area has its own Riddler trophy grid and marks each one you collected. The Genshin devs...
Oh, WoW does that too. I think NTE as well. They tell you everything there is left in a particular zone. Yeah. For Genshin, you need a website. You need to use a website and keep checking them off yourself. Or I think you have to risk it where the website, you connect your account to the website and the website checks it for you. Something like that. But that's obviously risky.
Give you no such thing. So you might just be wandering around looking for chests that don't exist, and you would be none the wiser. Yes, there is no way to view which chests you have and haven't gotten. Sure, zooming out will tell you what % the local area has been explored.
But you can get 100% and still has chests around. I've seen that before. It tilted the fuck out of me.
But that's really vague. How many chests are here? Who knows?
Yeah.
If I'm 58% of the way there, and
no, you could be at 100% and there's more chests that you still haven't found. Confirmed.
There are 100
Unless they
chests,
change that.
then I found 58 chests. If there are 20 chests here, then I found like 12. See what I mean? This percentage tells me nothing. But wait, the hypothetical audience member says, don't you know you can just craft treasure compasses to help you find treasure? Yeah, I know. It's helpful, but it doesn't fix the underlying problem because 1, you have to go out of your way to make one. 2, the game doesn't tell you where some of the crafting materials even are, so that's even more time spent running around looking for crap. 3, you have to make one for every single region.
That's a non-issue. That's what Glaive also said in their video. This is a non-issue. What the fuck? What's this complaint? Like, what are we bitch-ass ninjas now? Come on.
Because for some reason, the Mondstadt one can't work in Fontaine.
Okay, what else am I supposed to craft? What's the crafting system for if it's not for at least a useful tool like this one? Like how do you give value to the crafting system? It's fine. If you want more chests, go get the materials and do that. And there's characters that help you with that. Therefore, some characters have more value. Looking at Chi-Chi, for example, Chi-Chi can show you stuff around, stuff like that. That's it. Like, I don't know. It feels a bit of a nothing burger in my opinion. This point specifically, yeah, sure, it would be nice, but I feel like it gives it a little bit more value. And if anything, the biggest complaint, and if we're going to talk about this, we should talk about the compass and how effective it is. Well, the compass can be quite the bitch because once you find the chest, you need to wait like 2 minutes or something for it to refresh. Now, that's annoying. I think it should be faster because in Withering Waves, I can just put a loot mapper and it shows me all the chests in the area where I place the loot mapper, and I can keep exploring from there. It's very simple, very effective. This just makes you run around like a crazy person. And sometimes what pisses me off is that my compass is tracking one chest, but see, this chest is close to another. And so the compass starts tracking another. And so I go and I get that. And I'm like, well, shit, where was the first one? And so I have to go back there and start looking around again. It can be very annoying, very ineffective as a toy, as a tool, sorry. But the method of obtaining, I feel like are fair. I mean, come on, what are we even talking about?
4, it doesn't make finding treasure chests fun. It just makes treasure hunting go from running around aimlessly to just going to where the marker points you to. That's not it for ways to get Primogen.
Well, Wuthering Waves does it even worse if you really want to go down that route. The thing is, exploration just needs to be fun. It needs to be engaging. And they really try. I see what Genshin are trying to do here. But for the most part, it's just when you consider the model, how the game is in itself and what the incentive is, why players are doing the exploration. It's not a sense of wonder. It's not a sense of, I want to see what the world has to offer. I want to immerse myself more into the world. For the most part, no. People are doing that in order for the resources. That's why it's not being well received, because in The Witcher 3, I'm already doing this. And I'm doing this with a sense of awe. And, I could encounter a side quest that I can do something that could have consequences. You just want to see what's in the game because you're immersed in the game. You're interested in the game. You want to know more about the world of the game. Well, in the gachas, typically, that's not inherently why you're there, because most of the side stuff doesn't necessarily matter because 1, your choices doesn't matter, and 2, it's usually just filler slop. It's kind of soulless from my experience, at least in something like The Witcher 3. It's a lot of side quests have a lot of, let's just say, oomph to them, right? They're pretty heavy, right? And there's also, of course, the reward system because, in The Witcher, like you can always get, credit, stuff like that can help you. Doesn't necessarily matter, but at least it's there nonetheless. But nothing makes you want to explore more than this wonder and in immersion that the game has done for you. Whilst the gachas, for the most part, for players specifically, and how they go about interacting with this type of game, is they want to do that for the sake of the resources that they are forced to get due to the predatory tactics of their gacha system, more than them wanting to actually explore the world and immerse themselves more. I feel like that very practice, as in the gacha practice, is getting in the way of players really wanting to fully immerse themselves in it, because they go in this with a sense of strategic approach more than a sense of wonder. Now, I'm pretty sure the devs wanted to include both sentiments because they're both positives, right? That's huge incentive. If you're a huge fan, you're like, well, shit, I get to explore, I get to have fun, and I'm getting paid. Hell yeah. Sign me the fuck up. But for some reason, it made one get in the way of the other. It's quite a strange thing when you really think about it.
Because upgrading each region's statue of the 7 gives you Primogems as well. Only problem is that you only get like 60 Primogems per level you upgrade. And what you use to upgrade the statues, that region's Oculus, are even worse to collect than chests are.
I'm going to say something we probably are thinking right now. Pulls should be cheaper. 160 is too damn high. It should just be cheaper. Just make the problem solved.
Just like chests, there's no grid telling you which ones you have and haven't gotten. And unfortunately, you have to craft a new detector for that region every time you use one to find an Oculus. Why? Oh, I know why. It's because the devs really want you to use real-world money to buy pulls.
Welcome. Yeah, exactly.
That's why this is so poorly designed.
It's not poorly designed, actually. If you ask them, they're like, no, this is exactly how it should be designed, bro. Yeah, that's what you think. But to them, this is exactly how it's supposed to be designed. We're making to make that band, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Now, let's say you hypothetically get enough Primo Gems to get the character you want after 180 pulls, or are lucky enough to get them before you hit that. Well, they suck because you have to upgrade them, get them a good weapon, and then upgrade that, and then give them an artifact.
Well, it's done on purpose due to the live service model, because what the fuck else are you going to be doing as you wait for the next patch? Because it's there also for free-to-play players that want to keep up with the game, so that way they don't really feel how bad the free-to-play model is. It's a trick. It's a bit of a trick. It's a somewhat of a manipulation tactic when you really think about it. They just want you to sit there, wait, and feel like at least you're doing something. There's some degree of progression as you wait for the next cool stuff. And yeah, because don't forget, a lot of players signed up to this thinking it's a free-to-play game. And when they start to really feel that they can't necessarily progress or do anything that is worthwhile without paying money, a lot of players will just dip out. And so to go against that, the developers did, well, this. You get the character at level 1, and if you don't know what they needed or prepared for them prior, you're going to have to put in the work, and that's gated through a stamina system. And, you know, it makes you keep logging in every day. And the devs need those numbers to sell them to sponsorships and stuff like that. Investors that, hey, look, we have an active player base. We can sell them stuff. Oh, that's why.
And let me tell you, it takes a lot of time and resources to get one of these guys to max.
Yep.
This is because the higher levels of your character or equipment just guzzle down whatever resources you are using. And it takes real-world days to get new ones because of the resin system. In gacha games, there's usually some sort of resource that limits the amount you can do per day.
I think not even just gacha. I think I'm hearing even normal games have that now.
Unlike other gacha games like Zenless or Precon, Genshin doesn't allow its version of this to overflow in case you haven't played for a couple of days. So that
every gacha or every stamina having game should allow an overflow system plus a condensed system, a mixture of both. Because Genshin has the condensed resin system. That's good. I like the condensed resin system because sometimes I log in, I need Primo Gems. I have the energy to get the daily rewards because I need to get my 2D anime baddies, but I don't feel like doing the stamina. So I just condense, and that counts towards me using it. It's considered like you used it. I remember Genshin doing that. That was pretty cool. You claim your dailies and you dip out. And as soon as you reach maximum level of condensed, you can maybe allow them to overflow if you want to. And as soon as you reach max, you can do your dailies in one go. You double claim, you triple claim, you do everything you need to do. And once again, you repeat. You pause. It really allows you to breathe. It pauses a lot of the demand of your daily activities if you're starting to feel burnt out. Because I feel like we all go through stages in our gacha tenure. And what happens is a lot of the time you're not going to be as energetic and as dynamic in your game time with these gachas as you otherwise will, especially when you discover a new game and then you remember you're very happy, you're excited, you're just playing that one, and then you remember you have your gachas to maintain. At that point, it becomes maintenance more than game time. And so I feel like the most premium one is obviously going to be the premium currency because that's you know, it costs money even though it shouldn't cost anything because it doesn't cost anything. If I go to the store, I can't pay with Primo Gems, right? And so because of that, you just look at that and you go, well, I don't feel like doing anything now at all. And I feel like I want to drop this game. But if you have a condensed system, an overflow system, it really helps. And especially if you have both, because if you log in, I feel like I want to be rewarded for the fact that I actually logged in. I can quickly get these things condensed. There's a max amount cap, of course. And at least I'm rewarded for actually being there. Because I feel like overflow really rewards when I just can't log in. I've been getting laid all day. I've been out with friends all day. I can't log in. True story, by the way. I'm not even joking. Like, you know, you're out on the beach, etc. You forget to log in. You're back tired. Shit, I can't do this. And so, yeah, overflow rewards you at least there. But if I log in, I just don't feel like doing the stamina. I should be able to condense it and be rewarded for it. Because what they care about is you log in, right? Well, I logged in and I want my Primo Gems and stuff. So least that you can do is allow me to condense them. I don't know why Woo hasn't done this for years now. It's so stupid.
You need, run out of resin, and then wait until the next day to farm more of whatever you need. Why? Actual games don't do this.
Don't you think of it? Why the fuck didn't NTE also have an overflow system already and a condensed system already? What the fuck are they doing?
Gacha games have a better version of this system. And whatever you need ranges from experience to level up characters, ascension materials to ascend your characters so you can level them up more, material to ascend your weapons so you can level them up more, artifacts you need to boost your character stats.
We gotta talk about some sets in Genshin Impact. They have withstood the test of time, bro. This set has withstood I don't know how good it is now, but from during my tenure in Genshin, bro, Noblesse Oblige. Oh my god, bro. Hey, yo. The Favonius series and the weapons. My god. Are we? Yo, Genshin did that good, man. Look, there's some 1.0 elements in Genshin. Man, bro, that was so good. Other gachas could never, man. That was so damn good.
Artifacts you don't need to level up the ones you do, and materials to upgrade your character's attacks. This takes forever for one character, let alone the 4 you have to have on your team. Now, keep everything I said in mind.
One thing, sorry, I'm pausing a lot here, but there's so much. I'm very passionate about this topic. That's why I started my channel, really. The fact is, you will notice a certain trend here, which is the more you want, the harder it is. And so you are really rewarded for choices. If you pick, for example, Farina, gonna take care of Farina. You take care of Farina. It takes you like a week or two to finish a character, if I'm not mistaken. After you're done, you move on to the next. And you finish that one team, right? You're pretty happy about that. But you gotta make a choice on which team you're gonna start first. If you're trying to upgrade everybody, you're setting yourself up for failure. That's just not how these games work. These games are all about resource management. And the best way to navigate this resource management is by being disciplined and, of course, picking your targets. You gotta pick your targets. And right now, I'm making actually that mistake in NTE. I got so used to postgame because you have so much resources. You can just level up a lot of characters at the same time. Or like what I'm doing right now in Withering Waves, because we just have 3 characters in the span of like a week or two. I'm drowning, but I'm doing okay, right? I finished Lucy. I'm already finished Rebecca, and Lucilla. She's already, I think, at level 70 or something. So we're doing fine, right? Because I'm in the post game. But in the early game, oh man, you really have a choice to make. You gotta choose the strategy that you really want to invest in, and you go from there. Like right now, I'm at NTE. I'm at level 45. And I'm noticing I have a lot of units now. Some are not even playing. I have to make a choice. I'm gonna focus more on one team, start getting their, the gear system, the artifacts of stuff in NTE, and go from there. As soon as I'm done with that, I have something solid. I can clear content faster. Then I can start investing in the others. But now I'm at the point where the game forces me to make a choice. I have to be more disciplined in my approach, and I cannot play everything right now. It's gonna take time, and that's the way they go about this. Because if you don't want to waste time is money, right, gang? Well, you can spend the money and get the resources by the battle pass. Hey, get you a battle pass. You know what I'm saying? That's how they get you. It's to be honest, it's just smart commerce when you really think about it. It sucks to be on the receiving end, don't get me wrong, but I understand it. It's pretty smart. If I were them, I'd probably be doing the same thing too.
To how long it takes to get your characters to their max level, because my next complaint makes them all like 1,000 times worse. Power creep. Oh no.
Well, most live service games have that. I think the only exception I know of is League of Legends. If you're a one-trick pony, you're rewarded for that shit. That was shocking to me, by the way. W League.
So the devs give new characters mechanics that make them do more damage than older characters, and design all the updates and new endgame around them. So your old characters are worse without the devs actually nerfing them. So that means you can't just get any 5-star character. It has to be a newer one, so you can actually do damage to the newer enemies.
That's why buffs are needed. This is the new player perspective. This is what I'm here for. There it is. So if you're a new player, you see all these characters that are available. You're like, oh, this is my favorite. I like this one more than this one. So I want this one. Well, this one isn't meta relevant anymore. Whoops, sorry. Well, that sucks because I want the character I like to be efficient, to be powerful. I would love to see that, to feel that. Why wouldn't they? Oh, well, that's because of the model. It came out in 2024. So tough. We're in 2026 now. Well, sorry, man. Why can't they just buff them? Just keep up buffs. That's what League of Legends do. That when I asked my friend, because I don't play League, but I think he's a masters at League. I asked him, I was like, how the fuck are you still playing this champ? I known the guy since 2012. He's still playing the same champ. I'm like, how the fuck is this still good? He's like, well, they buff. They take care of everything. The balancing is good, and you can just play whatever you want. Obviously, some are going to be more favored. The newer ones are going to be slightly more favored, but it's a very small gap that skill easily closes. I'm like, well, fuck, shit. So really, it's all about playstyle now, and kind of like how you want to interact with enemy picks, blah blah blah, stuff like that. He's like, yeah, pretty much. It's basically that. Shit. So basically, just meta call. So you see the meta, you pick up a champ that is gonna interact best with what's considered meta at the time, and that's it. That's so amazing. I'm like, dude, why can't we have that in gacha? But the reason why you can't have that is because it gets in the way of sales. They're trying to maximize profit. Power creep makes sure that's the case. It's fine. Feel free to power creep, but at some point, just make sure the others keep up. Because there will be a gap in time where you still haven't buffed the old units. Say, for example, they are buffing old units, right? They start releasing new units. The new power creep is being installed. It's not fully there yet, but it's getting installed. As soon as it is installed, players start realizing and see the huge difference. That's when they can start buffing. In that time period, they are maximizing profit. There's a small pause and repeat. I feel like that would up player satisfaction. And if anything, just make the older units, let's just say, synergize best with older units, kind of like what SSR is doing. That was somewhat brilliant in my opinion. Predatory a bit, but if you already have the units, well, there's just one character for fixing an entire team. So basically, for the price of one character, it revives all the previous characters you had, and it's still making a solution and selling. Making a problem and selling the solution. It's still that, but at least when you consider what's in the market, better than nothing in a way. So it's a process. We gotta trust the process. We gotta go a few steps at a time. And I feel like SSR, for example, is taking those steps until we get to the actual goal we want, to the actual reality we want, which is what I just said. You can power creep. That's the nature of things. We understand it. It is what it is. If you don't want to be approached by a gay guy, don't be at a gay bar. If you don't want to see predatory tactics like power creep, don't play gacha games, stuff like that, right? So you can feel free to make them, but at least make sure the others keep up. And in the meantime, you can still, take full advantage of power creep while you still haven't buffed them yet. And just make sure it doesn't take that long. That would be my best solution for power creep personally.
So everything I complained
Realistic
about
one, of course.
isn't something you have to deal with at the beginning of the game. It's something that plagues you throughout the entire thing. Does this sound like a fun game to you?
Yeah, I remember when I started playing, I always asked my friends, is this character good? Is this good? Is this good? Because they always were talking about this thing is good or not. Because here's how I was introduced to Genshin, funny story. They were talking about crit rate, crit damage, artifacts, etc. And I'm like, what game is this? They're like, it's Genshin Impact. You should try it. It's a very popular game right now. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll give it a shot. It's free? Oh, shit, it's free, shit. So I start playing, and because I remember they were talking about this character is good. I have crit damage, stuff like that. I'm like, well, shit. Okay, let me see. I start playing, but then there's a concern, and this is what he's trying to say. I'm concerned. Every step, I'm like, well, fuck. Is this character good? I pull on the banner. Is this character good? That's what he's talking about, and I definitely had that feeling. These games really encourage a certain type of meta, and because of the scarcity of the resources in obtaining characters, you really want to make sure what you have is strong. That's why starting a new gacha, re-rolling exists, is because of this very sentiment. To make sure your account is as good as possible and you start with the most advantage possible due to, well, nature of these games.
Yeah, so I quit. The game isn't fun, and as Reggie Fils-Aimé once said, if it's not fun, why bother? Now, I know for sure I'm absolutely gonna get some stupid Genshin defenders in the comments going, actually, you quitting won't change the game. The game will only change if the Chinese fan base complains.
They complained too, and they didn't get dicks. So yeah, tough. That doesn't matter anymore. That's gone.
And to that I say, oh, boo-hoo. What, are you gonna do nothing with your life because the sun will explode in like 1 billion years? Sure, I might not be able to change the developers' minds or improve the state of the game, but I can do one thing. I can at least make sure they don't succeed in actually wasting my time.
There it is. Protect yourself. At an individual level, you're fine. That's what matters.
Want you to feel helpless and to continue playing the game no matter how bad it gets. And I'm not going to let that happen to me because I deserve better. You deserve better. That's why I'm quitting, and you should too. I can think of several games that are more worthy of your time than primo farming in Genshin ever will be. And I can recommend you some if you want.
All of Bungie's Halo games.
The Batman Arkham games, Earthbound, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Sonic Generations, Doom 1, Doom 3, Metal Gear Solid 1.
I was just about to say it. I was going to be like, well, what's the Metal Gear Solid series? There it is. All right, wait. He got me now.
Through 5, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
He didn't forget Revengeance. Revengeance is slightly different than the classic Metal Gear Solid games. It's more of a hack and slash game. It's not stealth or anything. There's a little bit of stealth, but it's not really there.
Gears of War 1 through 3, Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas. Zelda Ocarina
Where's
of
The
Time
Witcher 3?
3D, any version of Majora's Mask, A Link to the Past, Breath of the Wild, I haven't played the rest of them, Mario 64, Sonic CD, Devil May Cry 1 and 3,
Those are
Bioshock
cool.
1, any Lego game, any Resident Evil game that isn't 6, Mega Man X through X4, any Capcom fighting game that isn't Street Fighter 5, any Metroid game after
I remember
Metroid 2,
those. Those were so
Smash
cool.
Ultimate, and Puyo Puyo Tetris. You should play any or all of these.
Yeah, okay, well, he forgot a bunch. Play Asura's Wrath if you really like anime. Witcher 3, that's my favorite game of all time, personally. Batman games are good too. What else would I recommend? Mortal Kombat games are pretty cool too if you're into gore and stuff like that. You know, makes you realize what some people are capable of in this planet of ours. These are my favorite games, personally. Like, they stood the test of time with me. Like, I can still play them. The Tenchu games, if you're really into old school games, the Tenchu games, I really like the Tenchu games growing up. Those Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, I don't know if you guys are into that, but I used to love it. The Pokemon games, the early Pokemon games are pretty cool too. Yeah, that's a lot of games. Shit, that's two employed if you add more to the list. So yeah, just start with some of them and go from there.
Games instead of playing Genshin. Life is literally too short to spend dedicated to Genshin, so play literally anything else.
I think he forgot an important game in myself too, so I just remembered it and I'm gonna go and lay it out for you. I think everybody knows what video game I'm about to mention here. Get Bitches. Yeah, that's a very good game. It's a very popular game. It's allowing economy to continue. So yeah, Get Bitches. That's a very good game, man. You should try that. It's pretty good. But yeah, there it is. Good video. That was a good video. You can tell there's a lot of passion and resentment and disappointment there. Now, I feel like we've all been there. This is something I think a lot of us can relate to. But all in all, like I said before, and I'll say it again, Genshin ultimately has a place in the market. Yes, for seasoned gamers like himself, or a little bit like myself, I'm more casual. It feels like a somewhat mediocre product in comparison to the competition or some things we've already experienced before. It was good for its time. I mean, it came out in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And since then, I mean, time has moved on. And for me, I always wanted something, just an open world, magical feel game. And my friends got me into it. It was popular amongst my friends. So I really wanted to participate in the conversation. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just pick it up. And it's kind of like Overwatch is how I started playing Overwatch too. I was very reluctant in playing Overwatch, but then I saw my friends, they just kept talking about it, talking about it. And at some point, we would be sitting there at a cafe and they just start having a conversation about Overwatch. So I'm out of the conversation at that point. So I'm like, okay, I might want to fix that. And you know what? I could use a shooter. And I played it and I fucking loved it. I got addicted to it. So all in all, but looking at Overwatch now, I don't play Overwatch anymore because they ruined the game. It didn't keep up. It disappointed a lot of us. So I just dropped it and I moved on. I feel like it's decent now, but it just I couldn't get back that initial spark I once had for it. So all in all, I feel like Genshin has a place in the market for new players, for players that don't have devices that can keep up with the new games and new game releases like we've seen in the mobile. It's not that heavy in a mobile device. And I feel like that's where Genshin is capitalizing on. They really wanted an open world, flashy enough triple A feel in a mobile device. That's kind of the goal. That's what really made Genshin hit the ground and be this nuke that changed everything, right? And so, yeah, I feel like they succeeded in that regard. It sucks that this is the standard, but when you look at something like Pokemon and how they are doing business now, Genshin seems like a decent second all in all. So, unfortunately, these companies, for some reason, the bigger they grow, if they adopt a more predatory money making strategy, you're going to see the worst of them. And that's just the reality of our world days. So, yeah, our goal here as a creator, and I'm pretty sure as he himself, is just to make you aware of this, as you may be blindsided and maybe blinded by just not knowing what there's more out there. There's a broader horizon that you may not be aware of. Because sometimes, like, if you just live in a place forever and you've never explored the different cities, different countries, or different continents, and you don't know about them, you're gonna assume that this place you live in is the world, right? So without that knowledge, your mind doesn't expand further than where you're actually are. I hope I'm making some sense. Not my best analogy. I'm not communicating properly, but I hope I made some sense, right? So yeah, it's just our goal is to let you know there's other things, there's more things you can explore, more things you can have fun with. It's very very hard to explore something new, right? People are afraid of things that are new. We always look for familiarity in the things we want to do. But it is that sense of adventure, that sense of wonder, that sense of unfamiliarity that has allowed us, even as a species, to explore places ain't nobody have ever seen before. So it's this sense of wonder and curiosity is what makes us us. And I feel like as a human being, you owe it to yourself. Go out there, try a video game, as uncomfortable as it may be for you, and give it a shot. And who knows? You just might love what you've explored and liked. Instead of getting Primo Gems, you might find a brand new world and a brand new horizon, a brand new game, brand new toy that you can play with every day, and most importantly, maybe a brand new community you can interact with as well. Who knows? Your best friend might be in that, or maybe your wife or your husband might be in that next experience. You never know. Life is full of wonders like that. So yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Be seeing you. But back in my day, I hate motorbike drivers with loud engines. It's so good. You're cringe, bro. You're just cringe. Get the fuck out of here.